What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade predicting some basketball analysis on Analysis Playground live on YouTube exclusively there. I'm back with more analysis for y'all, and we're gonna have some playoff predictions again, starting in the Western Conference with the Kawhi Leonard led Los Angeles Clippers versus the Nikola Jokic's Denver Nuggets. Both of these teams are really good, and there's nothing that I can say, but this series should be fantastic if both teams hold up. I say that because Jamal Murray a little banged up. We never really know what's going to happen to Kawhi Leonard. You know, that's sad to say that, but it's true. But these teams both won 50 games, showing you that they are legit teams and they are teams you're going to have to pay attention to. And these teams do have good rotation players. And for the Clippers, they got Chris Dunn, they got Coffee. Obviously, they also got Norman Powell as a big thing of what they do. Ben Simmons is a solid defender, rebounder, and screen setter and passer. Vika Zubac is a big body in that paint that can hit hook shots and finish strong in the paint, but also finesse it when it's needed. Derrick Jones Jr. is a long, athletic body that's still young and still spoinky. I love what he does. You also have players like Kobe Brown. Like, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. He might not even play that many minutes, but if he does, you can get some points for him. Bogdanovich has been a guy that has looked good in some instances with the Clippers, but he's another guy that can hit the midi, hit the three, get to the basket from time to time, get out in transition. Nicholas Batum can hit a spot up three. He can space the floor. He can defend to be a little bit of switchable type of guy. And this is the team that we're looking at. You know, they're led by Norman Powell. They're led by Kawhi Leonard and James Harden and Zubac. As long as those guys are healthy, they're going to make it tough on the Denver Nuggets, because the Nuggets are a team that relies a lot on Jokic to deliver with the passes, deliver with the rebounding for extra possessions and the closeout possessions, and also the fact that he's a bucket from three, from mid-range, from the paint, and also from the free throw line. So it's going to be tough to match up against this team, but they believe in Zubac. But, you know, Jokic is going to keep coming at you. If he scores one, he's going to score two. He's going to score three. You got to really be prepared. You got to really be disciplined. You got to really be paying attention to how you're covering him and how you're trying to slow him down, because Jokic is the real deal when it comes to being able to dominate the game. And that's just the truth behind it. But Jamal Murray is going to need to step it up. Everybody says that. Everybody knows that, because that's the only way the team going to go somewhere, because Jokic can't do it on his own, which is something that we know and something that's been proven for basically any superstar in any playoff game, any playoff series. It's tough to do that. And you put yourself in a position where the Michael Porter Jr.'s and the Aaron Gordons and guys like Christian Braun are going to have to be reliable forces for them to be successful. But the thing about it is, at the end of the day, I like the Clippers perimeter players a lot better than I like the Denver Nuggets. I like Kawhi Leonard, I like Norman Powell, I like Chris Dunn defensively, and I like James Harden. I think those guys can step up a lot more. I think they can help each other and play off each other a lot better. And I think that Kawhi Leonard can take one of those guys out and make things tough, make things difficult, while also giving them the buckets and putting them possibly in foul trouble. The same thing that Jokic might do to a guy like Zubac. But the problem is, if Jokic gets into foul trouble, they only got DeAndre Jordan or Zeke Naji. I don't think that that's something to brag about, really. It's just something that you have, and you just have a little bit of confidence that they can play a role and protect the paint, still rebound the basketball, but they're not really great offensively, and something that you should really worry about when you're looking at competition wise. So I love what I have seen out of these two teams this year, but it is going to be fun to see how they're going to attack each other. You know that Ty Lue's going to be ready. We don't really know what to expect from the coaching side of the Denver Nuggets, since they fired their head coach, and he was a guy that was chiseling them, forcing them to be better, demanding them to be great, demanding them to play better. They respected him because he was there for so many years, and it was just a person that wanted the best for them. You know, so they don't really have that advantage as much, because the guy going to try to do what he wants to do a little bit, while still doing what the players wants to do a little bit, while still trying to figure out how to beat a team four times going into a series. So I like what I seen out of this roster so far by the Clippers. They have so many ways to get you and put you in tough situations that, there are going to be a tough out. But the guys I think outside of that top five that has a good chance to impact this game for the Denver Nuggets is probably just going to be guys like Jalen Pickett, Julian Strawther, and Peyton Watson. Those are the three guys that you look at and say, if they can come off that bench for Westbrook and get 5 to 10 points with some rebounds and some good defense, you have a chance to beat the Clippers. And I think that would be legitimate. Like, that's what you have to look at it as, because the Denver Nuggets has home court advantage in this series. It's not a crazy thing because both of these teams can win on the road. Both of these teams can win at each other homes, and that's what they have to do. At the end of the day, to be a great team, you have to go through the best competition. And Kawhi Leonard is a champion as the best player. Nikola Jokic is a champion as the best player, but it's not really all about that sometimes. I'm just showing you how great these players have been for a long period of time. But I just feel like if I had to pick something that can be a big difference in this series, is just I like the Clippers perimeter players performing at a higher level. I like their ability to create for themselves at a high level. I like the fact that if you try to be too reachy or be too bumpy, they can get to the free throw line and knock those down too. I like the fact that if you think that you can stop them from driving, they can kick it out and they can make threes just as good as shooting twos. And that's something that's hard to beat, especially when you have a big man that you can just throw it down to and he can go straight up and dunk it or go down to and force Jokic to actually play defense. You actually have to guard Zubac because he is a weapon. He is a threat out there on the court, and he is a guy that's big and tough as nails. And you have to respect that. You have to like that. They traded for him. They signed him up. They developed him. They built his confidence up, and he showed this year that he's a force to be reckoned with. And if I had to be honest, it makes perfect sense at the end of the day. But the Denver Nuggets, they're going to try to spread the floor out, let Jokic operate the best way that he can in single coverage. If he gets double teamed or trapped, that he's going to give that ball up to Jamal Murray and try to run that pick and roll to get a midi or a shot close to the rim or even 15 to 15 feet from the rim. And that's a quality look. And if Jokic's going to hit his threes, it's just going to make the Clippers have to execute better. But Ty Lue is a good coach for that. And I think that he'll be ready. Like, if they're going to push us to the brink, we feel like we have guys that have done it all season and that step up and play that role of give me the ball and we can create some high volume scoring. And we feel like nobody can guard us or defend us on the team of the Denver Nuggets. Now, Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr., they're not known as the best defenders. Aaron Gordon used to be known as a great defender. I don't really hear nobody calling them that much nowadays, but one of them are going to have to really step up and really communicate to slow down Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. If they can't do that, then it's over. You know what I mean? It's just a series that is going to be over quickly. It might be six game series at that. And I actually think that the Clippers can beat the Nuggets in 6 games. I'm actually going to go in with that now that I think about it, because I won't have to pick something to tell y'all who's going to win eventually. So I'm going to go with the Clippers in 6. I just feel like I'm not feeling, the cuts and the drives. I think Russell Westbrook is a guy that can come in and get a double-double or a triple-double or try to find a way to play hard to make things happen for them, make things open up for them. And it's something that they all can benefit off of too, because he's a team player when he's not being able to score, but he turns the ball over a lot. He gives you a lot of opportunities to be able to capitalize off of those things. He messes up a lot in the clutch. And I feel like they have multiple bodies that they can throw at Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon and make things tough. I think Michael Porter Jr., if they want to win this series, is going to have to be big, because he's going to be a guy that's going to get a lot of open looks and a lot of chances, him and Christian Braun, because they're going to play their starters like crazy, because that gives them the best chance to win. Plus, they were doing that this entire season. So they kind of remind me of the New York Knicks a little bit because of that. But other than that, I do see the Nuggets trying to play some of their young players. A lot of people probably would disagree with me, but I think Zeke Naji and Julian Strawther, Hunter Tyson might even play a little bit, and Peyton Watson they might get more minutes than we think that they will, just because these guys are so heavily relied on and their bodies is slowly breaking down. And I'm not saying that like it's a good thing, but it's something that's been going on for Denver, these last 3 years. And they had some big injuries to themselves as players. The only person that's been able to stay healthy and not get no major injuries is Jokic. And that's good because he is the franchise. He is the foundation that keeps this team relevant, that keeps this team in the playoff hunt, that keeps this team even having people believing and hoping that they can win a championship. And he deserves the love and the credit that he should get for being that type of player throughout his entire career so far, for the most part, especially later, right, going on right now for the last couple years. So I just feel like too much Kawhi. He's going to lock out one person. He's going to be able to score when he wants to. He's going to be able to get to the free throw line when he wants to. He's going to be able to rebound and help his team stay ahead, and he can make big shots to keep them ahead. He can be a closer sometimes with dagger shots, whether it's from the perimeter or in close. And then James Harden has the ability not to have everything on his shoulders and not to have everything on his back. Just relax a little bit. Like if you feel like it's too much or you feel like you need somebody else to, ease your shot selection or your choices, throw the ball to Kawhi. He's a bucket. Throw the ball to Norman Powell. He's a bucket. I do wonder if Chris Dunn is going to still be able to shoot threes at a high level. He showed that the last couple of weeks that he can knock down the three. And if he can do that, that spaces things out, that opens things up, and it makes him more valuable on the offensive end because we know how good he can be defensively. And I also think that's another thing we have to look at when it comes to this team. Can the bench defend and score, enough to be warranted play? Because you don't want to run Kawhi Leonard down when he has had so many injuries and so many things that can happen, just by wear and tear. Even though you do get games off between other games that you play within the series, you just don't want to be playing them 48 or 45 or 40 minutes just because the stakes are higher. You still want to be cautious with him because it's about winning the championship, not winning the first round matchup, and that's it. You know what I mean? Some people do feel like the Clippers are going to be one and done. They're going to win the series against Denver, and that's it. But we have to honestly see what happens. We honestly have to see how it plays out. And I think that that's the fun part about this series. They're evenly matched. They have the same type of play style when it comes to relying on their core guys to get them to where they need to be and get them to a victory. And I think that the Clippers just have a slight edge of shot creation, playmaking, and I think they play better defense on the perimeter. So I'm going to pick Clippers in 6. And I think that that's all I have to say. Just give y'all as much in-depth knowledge as I can off the top of the dome while still showing you that I've been watching these teams all year. And Denver, they just seem like they're a little too predictable, a little bit too disruptible. And the Clippers can do those things with their guards and their wings. So even coming off the bench, some of those guys can do that. And I think that that's going to be the difference in who loses and who wins this series. And it hurts me to pick against Jokic because I thought he was an MVP candidate. But if Kawhi Leonard would have played the entire season, would have been eligible, I think how he's been playing lately, especially the last month, he would have been in the MVP conversation too if he was able to play like he's been playing now for a couple more games or a couple more months. And that would have been a different conversation. But Jokic has been that way for years at this point, and Kawhi Leonard hasn't been able to stay on the court. So all I can do is say, hopefully we get a healthy Kawhi for an entire series to see how great he really is again. We still believe in him. We still love him here on the Analysis Playground. That's still one of my guys. I've been knowing Kawhi Leonard for years. And I think that, this is good for his legacy. He's starting to put it together. He's starting to get it back going. Hopefully it doesn't stop here, and he can have another great run. And if not, if the Nuggets win, I honestly wouldn't be surprised because I think that these teams are close to the same level. It just one team has to win, and I have to pick one with a gun to my head, even though I don't want it that way. But as an analyst, it's all fun. Predictions are just fun, and we just go based off what we know. We go based off what we've seen. We go based off what the numbers show with the eye test combined, plus us actually being able to see some other things that can help us make more educated guesses. and that's just how I feel. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis, because if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this and various different NBA only topics. Also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. Also do mock draft and draft coverage, and I also have more playoff predictions coming out today and throughout the entire run of the playoffs. So stay tuned to that. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the day that y'all had today. Hope y'all had a good day. Hope y'all stay blessed up and had a great day and have some fun along that way, and stay locked in and focus on your goals so you can have something to look forward to. Y'all help me with that, so I just want to give it back and help y'all make those decisions better. And that's all I can ask for y'all to do, is stay blessed up, and I want y'all to have that type of life, because that's what y'all helped me get. Other than that, I will also say check out my social medias. They're on my channel if you want to see some other things I like to do besides basketball and content. Check out my email if you don't want to leave a comment, or if you don't want to mention me on social media. My email is on my channel. Y'all can use that for whatever y'all want to. And other than that, I'm gone for now. I'll be back with more analysis later today, and hope y'all having fun out there, and see y'all later. Playing is tomorrow. I got my predictions already out, so check those out too.